as well, so we're going to cast like 10 best of threes, and when we've casted 10 best of threes, we'll fill some time and hopefully be ready to go into all the rest of it. Why won't challenge load my bracket for later? Oh dear. Oh no. First heroes of the day. We start in the top right hand side of the map with our red Terran player. This is INnoVation. He's going up against the blue Protoss on the bottom left-hand side. From Janae Greenwings, we have ourselves Creator. Best free TvP to get things going here today. So getting this kicked off, ready to go. Is challenge just dead? Is that my issue? Hang on. We have some signups for this tournament, so I mean it can't be that dead. Hang on. Let Wardy figure this out, guys. Maybe challenge is actually just down, in which case my entire bracket and qualifier is screwed. For later. Oh, yeah. Right, let me X out a couple things as well. Sorry, I'm definitely not on time or on point at all today, so apologies for that. Alright, Factory drops down here from INnoVation. His barracks, not proxied, but hidden out on the map to try and cause some confusion. And this has become pretty common for Terran players in general lately to go for the factory before they expand in TvP. Get the first cyclone up very quickly and apply a lot of pressure. So, while the Protoss players are still generally going for the pretty fast Nexus, the Terran players just seem pretty comfortable expanding kind of late here and going into that tech lab for the cyclone. It goes into reactor for the barracks now too. Stargate on the way up from Creator. Stargate has kept a lot of its potency, but played quite often in a very different way. We don't see a lot of Oracle play anymore. Nowadays, it's much more focused around Phoenix styles because the Phoenix are very good at defending what the Terrans are doing at the moment. I suppose it's kind of like a meta thing where as long as the Terran players are opening with Cyclones, which are obviously really reliant on their lock-ons to deal damage, the Phoenix will pretty much always be a good choice to go to because you're always going to be able to lift up a Cyclone and cancel the lock-on. Even if you only have like 1 or 2 Phoenix, one lift to cancel the initial lock-on to take the Cyclone out of the fight. Everything else is usually just Marines, and then gateway units are actually pretty good at that in the early stages as long as they're in position. Now Depth Shade is a little bit frustrating for a moment, could have maybe landed underneath the barracks there. As you will see the racks switching over to start up Stimpack, so INnoVation just heading towards a very regular setup now. Another rack's coming over as well, so just going straight into 3 racks after this expansion, and we'll see what he tries to do with the Cyclone, but for the moment just looks like he'll keep it at home for defensive purposes and to get going. Orbital Command coming down on the natural as we see a few Marines and SCVs rocking down to the low ground as well. Rax lifts up, lands onto the reactor, a couple of Marines on the way out, and a couple of probes coming out here from Creator as well. Phoenix heading up the left-hand side and having a look to see what they can do and where they can get up to. Meanwhile, Engineering Bay going to be coming up here still from INnoVation. That's going to be finishing in just a few moments' time. Creator with these couple of Phoenix coming all the way around to the top. How's everyone doing out in the chat today? Saria, how you doing? Go Creator. What's up, Glowfly? Hello, how you doing? Good to see you. Couple of Marines firing away onto the Phoenix for a moment. There's the lock-on is good, and we'll actually get quite a lot of damage onto the Phoenix. Trying to pull these Marines forwards to keep the vision, but unfortunately just loses out. And that Phoenix will survive, but really only just. As we now see a starport on the way up, getting ready to go. Starport going to be finishing shortly. And as we do see the Adept, a couple of Stalkers, they're all just getting ready to go. Third Nexus dropping down into position from Creator 2. And just continuing to expand. Neither player really too interested in doing anything crazy here. Our Terran player pretty happy just going up in towards the Bio player. Our Protoss just happy going into Blinken +1. Neither of them feeling the need to attack just yet. I mean, a few Phoenix scouting around and not much more. And yeah, very, very passive opening for what we've been seeing in TvP lately. In fact, lately TvP has been very focused on let's attack, rah, attack here, attack there. You know, big tank pushes, Cyclone Marines. And this is just very laid back. Like, oh, let's chill out. Let's just see where it takes us. As we can see, the Adept. I guess there's no point shading it into the main base. It could have just been annoying to pull a couple units back. But then again, what are you even gaining? You don't have any reason to pull those units back for a split second or two. So, Phoenix just going to dive into the main base. They can look for reinforcements. That was really nice from INnoVation. Seeing those Phoenix so quickly starts to stim them towards that missile turret. Marine lifts up as well, and just going to be seeing little bits of damage being done here as here we go. INnoVation pushing across the map. There's not a lot right now from Creator. A few extra Stalkers warping in. So it's an Adept, a few Sentries, and a few Stalkers. And as we see INnoVation, going to lock on again to that Stalker. Yeah, stimming around INnoVation a little bit, unsure where he wants to go. Baits out a couple force fields over there, which he's now going to use against Creator to push up into the natural with. Man, these Phoenix just can't get a chance to kind of take part in this anyways. Sentry's being targeted down. He didn't get the one with Guardian Shields yet. Now he does. A Marauder in the back will help out quite a bit, as the Phoenix lift on a single Marauder didn't really do too much either in INnoVation. He's done this very well so far, as we're going to be seeing a few more units gathering up together. A few more Marines and a couple of Widow Mines coming down to the bottom side. I'm going to get ready to get this going. Charge on the way up in the main base. We see the Bio still stimming forwards. A couple of these Adepts starting to be in quite a bit of trouble, so Adepts going down. Phoenix is taken down as well. Now a couple of Stalkers. And this is actually INnoVation just continuing to rally units across the map. This is starting to go very well for him. The Phoenix gets blown up. It didn't actually do too much friendly fire, which is quite nice. Widow Mines burrowing again. Even if they just get one more Stalker, a little bit of splash damage here, it's going to really just make the Marauders be in a position where they can really manage the Stalker number that little bit better. Finally, INnoVation is backing away. All said and done, though, he's put on so much pressure here while back at home. His third CC comes up and all the rest of it. And he's been doing this pretty much perfectly. So we see Charge coming up on the Twilight Council. Obviously a pretty standard way to go. What is interesting is the +1 shields upgrade. That's not something you see every day. I mean, +1 attack into shields? Yeah, I'm actually not too sure what the plan is here from Creator, because shields don't... I mean, shields just don't get built this often. So it's just a little bit strange. Intrigued to see where that goes. These Stalkers are moving around. A few more units just coming down from INnoVation, getting brought down to the low ground. Yeah, the Widow Mines aren't upgraded just yet into Drill and Close. I mean, it's very early in the game, so you only have one factory at this stage on 2 bases. Drill and Close doesn't usually come in until you hit the 3rd base, because the 3rd base gives you a little bit of extra gas. Then you can generally afford a 2nd factory. And with the 2nd factory, you get the Tech Lab and Drill and Close. But before then, it's A, quite expensive to build Drill and Close, and B, you need a factory for Tech Lab on it. And in reality, then you just don't have as many Widow Mines. I mean, there's only about, what, 4 Widow Mines or so used in that initial push? 5? So, I mean, think about it, like, he essentially would have been on 2 Widow Mines for that push if he didn't have a reactor. So, it's quite the difference, and while Drill and Close is nice, it's actually generally much better to just have the Widow Mine numbers early on. Around about now, yes, there's a lot of Widow Mines, but again, you're probably going to have to replace a few of those. The reactor's still very important. Again, like, 2nd factory in a Tech Lab is probably the next thing on the list of purchases for INnoVation structures at home. He doesn't really have anything else to build up. I mean, he's got 2-2 on the way already, so he will, as he starts to build up a bit of gas here, get ready for the 2nd factory. Bio is coming in as these Widow Mines burrow up, and we are going to be seeing the Archon's actually taking a bit of a beating there. The Zealot's coming around the other side as INnoVation starts kiting backwards. As you can see, the effect of just having this many Widow Mines was amazing. And the big thing is, like, the Drilling Close doesn't necessarily help the Widow Mines do much better, especially in the smaller engagements as well, because in the smaller engagements there isn't enough units to straight up kind of shut down, to stop the Widow Mines from burrowing. Drilling Close really just, it's kind of like, it's more like a nice little thing on the end rather than anything else. You know, it's very likely there's going to be detection around in the early game too, because there's just going to be an observer overhead. And then the Drill and Close doesn't really benefit you from hiding the Widow Mines after they've blown up either. INnoVation goes for the pylon, cancels the Zealots warping in, and will just continue to push in towards this 3rd base. He's been pretty dominant here so far. As we see another couple of Widow Mines going off, the Immortal going down. Stalker, more probes got, and INnoVation has broken through. As we do get into game number 2. Let's get this rockin' and rollin' as we have to the bottom left-hand side. Our red Terran player, this is INnoVation. Top right, our blue Protoss is Creator. Down a game, and I mean, it's kind of hard to comment on what Creator did wrong as much as what INnoVation did right, because I wouldn't necessarily say Creator's build was bad. I wouldn't say he necessarily made any real macro mechanic mistakes. It was just, it started to get a bit out of control because the first attack did quite well with the fact that he essentially force fielded himself out of his own natural. The position was just so good for INnoVation. Creator drops 2 force fields in a way that's meant to stop INnoVation pushing in towards his army, and INnoVation instead just pushes into the natural, and then those 2 force fields make Creator take forever. He has to fight high ground into bio army, so I think it's one of those situations where it was just a little bit too much there, followed up by a little bit too much later on because he was already a little bit behind, and INnoVation was just on point. And because INnoVation was being the aggressor from the very early stages, INnoVation was able to just keep on going and going and going, and just, you know, he never let Creator get a warp prism up, for example, so there's no way that Creator was going to force INnoVation to pay attention back at home. And at that point, INnoVation is just macroing and attacking you, and that becomes very difficult to hold off, because then you have to out-micro INnoVation in the fights to take a better fight, and it's just not very easily done at all. Factory coming up over here as well. Tech Lab will build on the barracks, so trying to fake the idea of proxying everything, and hopefully we'll get Creator to overreact. I mean, he knows the Marine isn't actually proper, or the barracks isn't actually properly proxied though, because the Marine came in, so knowing the Marine was there is already pretty good information for this factory about to lift up. And they're going to drop down to the Tech Lab. Max Field Accelerator starting up here and getting this going. Stargate coming in from Creator. As you see the Warp Gate on the way up right now. And depth shading forwards into the center of the map and having a look to see what's going to happen. So, Depth having a look to see what's going on. Marine coming across towards the upper right. And, yeah, nothing too crazy, right, overall. As the depth continues down toward the bottom left-hand side. All good. Reactor going to be finishing up on the barracks in just a few moments' time, so getting that completed as we do see a few SCVs coming down to the low ground too, and Adept here starts to deal just a little bit of damage. SCVs, what are they going for? Does he just want to bring them across the map to help with these, the cyclone pressure? Adept does get taken down. So it's going to be 2 cyclones, 3 SCVs, and the lone Marine. I mean, it's not your everyday push. Then again, I guess there isn't too many units out on the map just yet from INnoVation. From Creator. 2 more Marines now coming out from Inno. Build is reacting to me. I mean, the Tech Lab over here. Tech Lab is very, is a little bit kind of easier to rebuild than a reactor, so it doesn't matter if the factory has to lift up and back away from that position as much as it would the reactor. That's why the barracks will back to the main base already. Obviously, that position is not necessarily safe with where it's set up. And if these Cyclones locked onto the same Stalker, or if they locked onto the pylon, that would be pretty insane. There we go, same Stalker, and boom, it will just go down like that. Oh, man, this Cyclone getting repaired up, and it's kind of low. It will go down here, and the other Cyclone, for whatever reason, locks onto the Stalker, not the Oracle, but in the end, the Oracle dies to the Marines anyways. I mean, I can't really say that was perfect from INnoVation. The lock-ons definitely could have been a bit better. Creator now starts to build up a second Oracle as Phoenix has popped out. And the Stalker is able to get rid of this building bunker up at the front. As the lock-on once again. With Magfield Accelerator, these Cyclones just do so much damage. I mean, these shield batteries are almost fully drained now. And as you see, these Marines continue to press forwards and continue to keep up the aggression. Shield battery drops. Bunker going down as well, and INnoVation still trying to make this work. Another probe gets picked off too. This Oracle trying to fly on in. And again, just a little bit back and forth. Phoenix comes in, lifts up that Cyclone, which means that now it should actually go down. The Oracle will still fall, though the Phoenix goes down, so it's still a very good value trade for the Terran player, who will come in and lock onto another one of these Stalkers, gets the kill. Man, it's still micro in here. I mean, Creator needs to get rid of that SCV. Another Cyclone shows up, so INnoVation has just been non-stop with this, and now those shield batteries are running out of energy. Those Cyclones are starting to dive in a little bit further. Wow, I mean, a very exciting startup to this game. Banshee and Cloak on the way as a follow-up here from INnoVation, so his next set of tech is already somewhat decided, trying to keep Creator busy, and if he can find the observers and scan those down, that would obviously be fantastic. I mean, the robo facility isn't finished yet, but if he does find them, that would be pretty great. pylon coming down to the top. Oh, sorry guys, I'm a bit sniffly today. I wonder if I'm getting a bit of cold or something. Hopefully not. But sorry if you hear a couple of sniffles and so on. Just trying to power through. Cyclone's getting rid of a probe there. So probe getting taken down. Banshee up at the top from INnoVation. Going to come across and head in towards the main base. So Banshee heading in towards the main as we again see the Marines, the Cyclones just gathering up together. And there's that Banshee flying on in to start killing these probes. So quite a few probes going down already as you see the cloak comes up. Obviously no immediate response with an observer. What did he build right away? He just built an immortal. Now, so again punished a little bit for this later robo. And the observer pops out just as INnoVation backs away. He's already done with this Banshee number 1. 7 kills and getting ready to go for round 2. There's a couple of Widowmines will start to burrow at the front. I mean, it's really just a case of he was such an annoyance early on as, I mean, triple Cyclone on Immortal Boom, that's an insta-kill. He was just so annoying early on that the continued pressure here will just never let Creator really stabilize. And if Creator can never stabilize, this is going to be a bit of a tough situation for him. As you see the lock on there. The Observer gets taken down by the Widowmine shot. Sentry gets picked up from distance as well. Well, there's not a lot of units left here from INnoVation, but again, the damage has already really been done. 38 workers to about to be 38, and a lead for INnoVation in a second, actually, because these Banshees come in. I mean, now they hop into towards the main base, and again, the Stalkers... Well, the Stalkers are actually just not here either. Where are the Stalkers? They're just sat on the natural. Creator is just running probes around without actually having a response or a way to actually deal with these Banshees. Suddenly, this is 14, 15 kills that have happened in the last few moments. And as the Observer comes in, the Banshees will still get out alive. 13 kills on one, 11 on the other. INnoVation just dropping down another couple of mules here. His second, his natural expansion being set up behind all of this. Raven is up here now as well to help out with any potential Dark Templar play. And Creator going straight through the center of the map. A few Stalkers, a few Adepts. All of this getting ready to go. Couple of Cyclones starting to lock on, and we see some extra Adepts warping in. It's going to be seeing the army here from Creator going to get ready to move forward. So moving in with these Adepts, Stalkers too. And here we go, a couple of Widow Mines. Don't get the chance to go off just yet. The Adepts will not commit to that shade for the moment. Interference Matrix on the Warp Prism will actually stop it from warping in for a moment or two as well, and stop any lift-ups, so a little bit of micro potential there taken away. Only for a few moments though, Interference Matrix now fades. One of the Banshees, the lower kill Banshee goes down as well. The Adepts commit to their shade. It's just going to be a disaster. There is nowhere near enough here from Creator. I mean, these Adepts are not even going to begin to break the bunker. These other units are having a good time. Those units just not even attacking from Creator as well. And yeah, it's... Actually, I mean, Creator... I definitely always favor INnoVation against Creator, but Creator is a good player, and he's been playing well lately. And to see him play like this today, I feel like this is not Creator's A game. I feel like this is not what Creator can always deliver. So, a little bit of a shame as Creator goes across to the upper right-hand side. He's going to back away. He's not going to give up on the game just yet, but I mean, it's not pretty, is it? Twilight Council with a blink upgrade coming through, but he's down 10 workers. He's down half the army supply. Is just not an easy recovery at this stage for the Protoss player. At all. So Prism hops in towards the main, and a few of these Adepts going to get ready to unload. As we do have the bio starting to move out into the center. Cyclone locks on, and again a couple SCVs starting to go down. So a little bit of damage being done here in the early stages. The bio stemming all the way across. I mean, now the Prism's going to get taken down by a Cyclone, and so, well, these Adepts will try and recall out there. Good retention of whatever units he could get for Creator. I mean, kind of became a disaster very quickly, and yet he got out with, 3 of the 4 Adepts. But losing the Prism means now there's no pressure on the map as well, and so INnoVation is immediately just like, okay, well, let's go. Starts to move out into the center and across towards the top right-hand side, so away INnoVation goes as he gets this set up. A couple of Widowmines on the way out from the reacted factory. And INnoVation just continuing across to the top right to see what he can do. Banshee pops in towards the main base. A couple of Stalkers are there, so he just pulls it back. Pretty much always pulls this Banshee back towards the main army to make sure he can use it in a way that he can will basically just kind of add damage output against whatever he ends up fighting as it presses forwards. A few Widow Mines will start a burrow. Cryo will stem, and just going to be seeing those Widow Mines already getting a couple good connections. I mean, a couple probes coming in one at a time are actually trying to set off those Widow Mines. Anti-armor missile on the Immortal will mean that it will just melt even faster than it was going to anyways. Creator will type out GG to give INnoVation